All right. Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope it was a great day in the trading world. I'm a dad, so I have stupid dad jokes. All right. Let's jump right in it. We know what's up. We know what's up. And you know I'm going to jump into STEM. I mean, STEM's been that one where it's almost like my baby now at this point. I think I've adopted it. It's just terrible. It's interesting. STEM, I actually got into STEM the reason I know STEM, like, or maybe I just don't want to let go. I know STEM from way back when I IPO'd. Um, let's see here. How bad it's been. I actually remember STEM when I IPO'd. This was during the bull run. Yeah, you can see November 20 came in, and then 21 is where I locked. I'm not gonna lie. I locked in. On this because I was like running with the IPOs and I locked in right on here, right in the beginning of the year. Yeah, right in the beginning of the year. So like $22 maybe. And it kept going. I was like, sweet, it's going to the moon. And then it just started coming down. And then I just never let go of it. I just didn't. And then I started watching, learning a lot from Chris in this time frame. And I had these trades these stock trades that I did these IPOs with, and some of them went underwater, and this was one of them. So I started learning and I actually started buying areas where I think they were bottoming to like dollar cost average my overall down. And I actually got it down. I remember like buying right here. It was actually this area exactly. I did the math and I saw a good bottom here and it was like this little double tap. And I went in, just trying to I was really trying to get out of it. So I was wanting to try to even it out. Sure enough, I did. I got out right around here. It broke even. I was like, I figured once I broke even, I was gonna just get out, and it was right here. And it even did this little like one, like a little bit higher, and I was like, wait, should I just left it? And I know I'm glad it. And sure enough, from there, it always kept going down. So this is what's so important about trading. Number one, you can obviously dollar cost average your way down a little bit if you need to, but when you have a target, and you have a set place, and you have a set goal, and you work hard for that goal and you get it, don't let emotions try to get you like to think completely opposite just right then and there. Meaning, I had this goal to get back to even, and I did it. I mean, I was actually didn't think I didn't know if I really was. I didn't know if it was going to bounce here, and then I had these couple good weeks, and I went right back to even. And I remember I even texted a friend. I was like, I got out of that trade. I actually might have been a couple bucks positive. And I was out, and then I saw it bounce, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like, "Nope." I was so glad I set to that plan. I didn't buy in again and let it just keep going down. But yeah, obviously, it's kind of what this is what really kind of got me to look at it. I think I brought this up, this waterfall, effect, and then it was hitting the hourly. I'm sorry, the weekly S1, right? I mean, look at the pivot to the S1. It was like way up. And I brought it in. I brought it up right on here, and we saw it bounce, and we've been kind of playing around with it. And obviously, we've gone long in it, or I've long it anyway. I bought a little bit more recently too. I told you guys that, but that's kind of the story behind STEM. So there's a little bit more to it than just me, finding some random IPO from the 2021 realm. That was a ton of IPOs. All right, so locally here, what happened? All right, let's go to the 15 minutes. So that way we can just see what happened today. So we had this crazy bounce. Remember I had that wedge open. I'm gonna make sure you guys can see it. We had this crazy bounce here, and I knew something was going on. Remember I said there's that's a lot of price action around this wick. It's got to be something going on, right? I was feeling good about it, but I was still hesitant. And then we had these like, look, we got these like pretty gnarly like 15-minute candles, and then just getting wick back down, wick back down, wick back down. To me, I guess it's like shorts are just really trying to push this thing down to continue make money, or maybe they have you know puts that are set up. I don't know. I'm not really an options trader, but anyway, it broke down this wick here, and then like it opened the day with just and it had this really good volume. Okay, so I had this really good volume, and it was a busy morning for me, so I wasn't really paying too much attention. But as I looked in, I was like, wow, look at this volume, right? So I was trying to get pushed down again, and just so much, like a lot of money came in right there, a ton. And that's what we want to see. If we're looking for a bottom, we want to see volume coming in at the bottom. Well, we're about as close as you can get without making a bigger lower low here. And sure enough, what ends up happening? Well, it gets above this, supply area, and it keeps wicking, and then it finds, um, like no one else is at this point. No one is. Sorry, I don't mean to keep saying the same thing over again. No one else is selling right here, and it's just buy, like really good. Like this is about as strong as we've seen in a while, right? Of just many. These are, I know they're white, but they're green candles essentially. Past the 15-minute pivot, it hits the pivot as support. So look, one, two, three. I'm sorry, one, two, three, four, five, and that was like I was counting this. I believe I was counting this as a five up here, but maybe it's five up right here. Yeah, that looks like one, two, three, four, five. It clearly looks like one, two, three, four, five. Anyway, so it finds support of the pivot, and then it breaks out of the channel that we've been talking about, right, for a long time. And it even strongly gets past the R1. That was a really good reaction this morning, and then another monster candle coming in right at this wick, right? So this appears that 35, 36 cents has got some serious action because it started getting this volume picked up really big on this one. In the aftermarket, it definitely went down a little bit. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I have to probably check out some of the aftermarket stuff here, but it's obviously going into the weekend. But then I want to show the 1 hour here, and there's that channel, and there's a breakout. I mean, that's perfect. I love it. This is why I thought, no, I guess it does look like one, two, three, four, five. So then we should probably see a pullback to this area. Maybe it's happening over after hours, but we want to see a pullback, hold here, and then keep going. At this point, we really need to see some, because this is now we're starting actually now a wave one, starting a new wave of one. Over here, we were thinking this is one, two, three, four, five, which it really did look like that, but now it's clearly not. So now we're refreshing again. Okay, and this is actually now the bottom of C. So what I even did, I'm going to go to the 4 hour. Another adjustment I made was this green Wyckoff range. So as crazy as this sounds, this was not the selling. This was here. Thought I adjust this here. There. Stay there like I don't know why it moved down. It, selling climax, automatic retest, came back up, and then has this channel down for, phase B. And then what do we get? We get this wick past, and then such an awesome 4 hour candle. We had another awesome 4 hour candle here too. So essentially, we have some really nice 4 hour candles around this same area. That's good. There's people that are interested here. Not just me, not just me. And maybe like one or two of you guys. So, and there's obviously interest because it's right here by the low. This is the lowest, right? 30 cents, 30.3035 is the low. So that's why I have this green here just to kind of show it. So right now it's still a larger 1-2. And this now does look like, and I'll tell you this too, I thought about this before, but I didn't say anything because I was like, well, this looks like five down. One, two, three, four. Now I can say one, two, three, four, five, A, B, C, B, and then we got another count down here, five down for C. Okay, so this is working for me. And look, hammer candle type, and then a strong finish candle to break the channel. So, I'm going to think that this is the 1-2 that we're looking for at this point. I mean, we're about as low as you can get. So I'm in still. Obviously, I'm not giving up here. Why would I? A trade could come back down as as long as it doesn't make a lower low, the count's still solid. So anyway, that's where I'm at, and this EQ looks great. This definitely looks like a strong EQ. So what we want to see is, because this is like a little small 5 up, we want to see a little bit of a pullback, probably over the weekend into Monday. Maybe the pullback happens after hours. So if we open up and it's below, then that could be the pullback, and then we want to see a good 3, the strong 3 that gets us past this EQ. Maybe even up to, I mean, obviously the pivots are going to change, but maybe right around here to 40 cents. That'd be nice to see a 3 and then a test and then a 5. I want to see 5 to kind of get back to the top of the channel at least, and maybe even some of this wick for 5. If we're seeing this next week and we're getting this 5 up, I will most likely, then we'll look for another 2 down. I'll probably buy another bag here, because what I'm gonna look for is 5 up, 3 down to the EQ, and that's probably that last point of support, and it should be go time. That, for what I've been talking about for a long time, is that, because this is all 1-2, so this is going to be a start of 3. This is the start of 3. If this is correct, this is the start of 3. Okay, so this is like where you would want to enter in these areas. You want to enter a trade after 2. You want to enter the trade into 3, because 3 is that crazy, kind of skyrocket wave. Three is where people start noticing it that never did. And then you got even people that might be on like Twitter or something. Oh, you see STEM? Look at STEM's doing. That's like a 3. So we want people to start talking about STEM, because STEM in a wave 3 starts really coming back up to who knows what. Most likely, we want it to ultimately come back to this top of this wave. That would be, so it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back to about 65, 68 cents. And that would be wave 1 of 3. Okay. Now, this could all happen this month still, because I'm telling you right now, this is 4 hours. Look, these candles, when they start moving, this is only a day or two, right? Look how much that went up here. We could see this again here. See these big, long, big monster candles, and then it comes back. That's kind of what I'm looking for soon. Not yet, but soon. So I'm looking for a 1, 2, and then a monster 3. Look, 1, 2, monster 3. That's what I'm looking for here. So something similar to this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, but I want it to go higher. I want it to go like up to here, probably to like this area, this 58-cent level. It'd be nice to do a 3 up there. Okay, but we'll see. I don't know. We're being patient. We're hoping, right? I'm hoping that this count is right. I really do. Obviously, I'm invested. I'm gonna tell you that the stock RSI, well, all the RSIs look really good actually, and I'll tell you right now too. Now that I look at it, oh, sure enough, the Fisher is lower than these little red lines, which I don't even know what the heck those are. There must be some kind of a range level. So that's, I believe what, I think Chris actually explained this. So I apologize, Chris, if you're watching this. But if you go below these and see right here, like look what happens when it gets to this area. See how it starts to curl, and it started to curl here. Okay, every time it gets below that area, there's a good curl up thrust, especially on this Fisher, especially over here. Okay, look at here in September, and this was the kickoff. So it curled and started going up and really moving. And look, Stoke RSI was also in the same place. Now regular RSI was really low, so that was kind of that was like the trifecta essentially of, we should have been, well, we were actually looking at this technically. So we're getting a very similar situation on RSI here, and all 3 of them are curling up and breaking up. Even this Fisher is actually curled and broke up. This is getting past the MA, broke up. A lot of good signs. Last, look at this volume on the 4 hour. So I showed you like the 15-minute and the 1 hour. Look at this volume on the 4. Money showed up, right? I mean, it hasn't been, it hasn't been that high in a long time. The last time I was over here, people probably thinking it was reversing at 50 cents maybe. I don't know, but it hasn't been this high in quite a while. It's only been one, two, three. So that's been on the way down. So people are trying to catch the bottoms. That's what happens. So you start to see this volume, and it's not the bottom, and then it keeps going down, down, down. But anyway, volume showed up. That's fantastic. Volume into a hammer type candle. I love it. I love it. So still in this, and I'm still excited, and I hope if you guys are also interested, maybe this kind of excites you too, because this would be really cool to be on the bottom of this, and this thing really takes off. It'd be really nice to have, and you just sit and wait and just let it just do its thing for who knows how long. I mean, if this is the bottom, I mean, I could be sitting on this for a year. Honestly, I ain't care. I'm just looking for an entry, and then if it starts to really go, maybe I'll move a stop loss up here and there. But you start to kind of forget about it and just let it do its thing and become a little cash cow for you. That's the point. That's the point of finding bottoms. You want them. You want to find them, lock it in, make sure it's confirmed, and then as waves start to happen, you start to get more confirmation. You start to just be like, all right, that's locked in now. I can kind of set it and forget it. SMCI, SMCI. This was talked about today a little bit, and I was like, I feel like such an idiot. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I was like, oh yeah, Chris did talk about this. Well, he was talking about this being the bottom of wave 4. So then I had this really nice push up. I just want to show you real quickly the daily. I mean, the pivots are perfect here because look at the if I pull the fibs here, this being 5, it looks like it's 5 up. Then that pullback would come back to the 0.5 level. Now that's a little bit past wave 4, so it's a little. I'm not. I want it to go into wave 4. I don't really want it to go below wave 4. So it could be a little bit more upside here first, but it's dropping down quite a bit. I will say this though too. It's kind of looking. I thought it was maybe a flat here, but when I zoomed in, this did look like 5 waves up here. So it doesn't matter. I'm looking at the pivot. So if this happens soon, actually after hours, it's moving down too. If this gets down to 0.5, you're looking for an entry. That's not a bad place, in my opinion, to do so. Just make sure you make educated. Like I said, not financial advice. This is not financial advice. So make sure you're doing this properly. Set stop losses. Maintain good risk management. So or proper risk management. Anyway, that's kind of my idea here. So I just kind of did a quick chart on there. It was just here. I want to show you gold. Remember we talked about that 3-day that was closing in a bad spot. Look at the weekly. Look at the weekly. Okay, so we had this dip. It came back up strong, but this looks very much well as to be an A, B, C for B, a 3 waves up for B. So I'm thinking we're coming down on gold. I really do. I think gold has been topped out. It's been a great run. This looks like 5 up for me. This is clearly a 4 for me. The 0.382 level is back. This is a bigger wave 4. So, there's still wave 5 to go though. I'll tell you right now. I told you that next year, although we might have some dips, beginning of the Q1 area. I don't know when. That's my thought. This is kind of going to start it off, though, in my opinion. This is a sign. Gold can be used as sometimes as like signs of the market in general. It really can be. When you have to do some digging on this and look at, compare it to some of the big ones. Gold is kind of a little bit of a kind of fortune teller in a way. So I'm not saying that we're going to see this crash, but there's gold is coming down in my opinion. Now I could be wrong. This could be some kind of a weird count and I'm missing it because I'm human, right? But I'm going to tell you that this actually to me solidifies that this was a B with this wick on this weekly. RSI does seem like it is coming down and it's starting to struggle. And see how these are low, the RSI is down here. This could just hang out here for a while. And the Fisher was trying to curl, but now looks like it's getting rejected. So that could also come down. The Elliott wave counter here down here at the bottom, these greens, also kind of looking like it's wanting to go down more. So a lot of RSI indicators are also showing that this could be more going to the downtrend here. And I even think Fibbo was saying something that he was getting out of gold quite a bit, or he said maybe it was going in the bear zone. I don't remember. I try to stay with Fibbo, but I know he's got his own methods. He's got his own following. He does a fantastic job, by the way. We're lucky to have guys like Chris, obviously, and Fibbo. Really, these guys know how to make money. They really do, and we should listen to what they say. That's helped me a lot, by the way. So anyway, I just want to point that out. I talked about the 3-day. Now we got the weekly close, and just so everyone knows, my target here is about 2380. 2380 is a target. You can even see it dip down a little bit lower than that. Maybe go like 2350 to right, because you want this cluster here on wave 4 is really strong. So look at the node here. Look how strong all that volume comes in right in this green. So that's why I have that green there. So you can see so you can see how it bounced here. Look, I mean, just look to the right here and then it's out. So anyway, that's gold. Bitcoin is doing Bitcoin things. Chris has already told you the count. I got the 1, 2. I think I posted about maybe one was up here, but this count is really funky. It's an ABC type count, and then you got this dramatic down and then back up again. So that's awesome. First of all, this is probably kind of ranging here too. As you can see, I threw up the old wedge here because it definitely looks like a wedge to me. It starts in the bottom though. I normally like to see them at the top starting, but it's either so the bottom here doesn't always work out. Sometimes the wedge can be a little bit different. It could start here. I hope I'm making sense here. So I started the wedge here because that was a local spot for support. So you want a wedge is like, we want to find actual support and a bounce. Okay. So right here, denial, and then come back down, support. It kind of like, you want to see a reaction from it. That's kind of the build up of the wedge. And then see how it kind of went here but didn't touch it. Sometimes it will touch it again and find some more support. That's even better. In most cases, you get a double tap like that. Sometimes that shows me like, oh, that's a really good line. So we kind of have a wedge here. It looks like a wedge. What I could see is one more down actually hit the pivot and then blast off. But I don't know. It looks like we're kind of getting finished up here. This could be the end. And this is the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, something like that. So we're going to see here really soon. This is actually 15 minutes. So excuse me. We should see some action here pretty soon. I think we're going to get some action over the weekend, actually. All right, Matic. I've expressed a lot about Matic here. I want to look at the 1 hour real quickly. Got the 1, 2 here, and then we got the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. So we're still working a wave 3 here. And then we're going into this nice little Wyckoff range. I love it. This is a good little range here. Okay. The volume is not really all that great. It's just kind of hovering and kind of drop down, and then we're trying to see some volume start to kick up to get us out of here. We're gonna need like a nice run through this orange. Okay, this orange, by the way, is a good resistance line, but this is buildup that we want to see before it plows through it. Okay, it's like you're running back. You want to run through something. You don't just do it right next to the wall. If you're trying to run through something, you want to get some momentum. This is kind of like building up momentum for that. And that's good. But this will be a wave 5 of 3, so don't expect it to go too much higher. But it could break the pivot. What I like to see it is break the orange. It could maybe hit this pivot because remember, the wave 5 is only 5 waves up, so it could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that would be the end of wave 3, and then it would actually come back down. But what's cool about the orange line is it actually could come down and test the orange line. That's actually the goal here. So in a little bit of a bigger picture, make sure you guys can see that. Okay. See, look how good this orange line is. It's solid 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 at the top. That I cheated that a little bit. I don't count that, but it still got 4, maybe even another one in here. There's 4 good taps on this. This is a good line. You know how Fibbo, he does that measure tool? This would be a good one on that. So you can measure this. If we break this, but I want to see it most likely retest. Now, one of the things I thought, at first I thought this was actually 3 up and this was 4. And the more, see, when I look at it on the 4 hour, it really does look like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, excuse me, I'm so sorry. This could also be, when I zoomed in, it didn't look like it was done. But when you look at this, I guess it really is probably three up. 1, 2. No, this is 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this has got to be a four. Look how large that is. That wouldn't be a inner four. This is way too large for an inner four. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I like that better because then 5 will break through the pivot too, in my opinion. We'll get a good strong like 1, 2. We'll probably get a 1 up, tap it again, hopefully, break down a little bit, and then that's a long opportunity, in my opinion. You could maybe even go long here. But pricing right now, price action kind of sucks right now, to be honest with you. It's been pretty choppy. So we'll see it go breakthrough and then do a 5, and then we're going to want to come back down. So this orange line is going to be important, I think. So could get some retest here, okay? Could get some retest. True is another one that's doing very similar things than Matic, but it doesn't have that really good orange line. Okay, but there's been some communication. We've been talking about True on the chat line I have. So I just wanted to bring it up. I think it's important. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is kind of like also in a weird area because I don't like how doesn't count really like a 4, but I would think it would have gone a little higher because this was such a good 1, 2. I don't think this maps out, but I do like the way that it's forming though. It's kind of got this bottoming forming, and we're starting to get these curlings. And look at volume. Volume really dropping off, and it's not dropping down. So if it starts to spike up, it's probably gonna have some really good movement to kind of complete, and it's probably just gonna start going up here and getting to these top wicks, in my opinion. And then we're gonna find that that return for the long. We're getting really close for some 5 ups for the 2 back to go long. We're gonna see, and again, alts do a lot of the same thing. So we're gonna, probably gonna be everyone's bit. Ooh, this coin. It'd be good. There's gonna be some good buys, in my opinion, here really soon. We just got to get there. So, all right, everyone knows about Pepe. I want to show you one thing, and I'm gonna be honest. I was very upset with myself that this happened, and I'm telling you, there's something going on. I'm gonna say this right now. There's something going on. I don't know where you're at, but for me, I'm in Pacific Standard Time, around midnight. Okay, so that would be like 3 a.m. Eastern. I don't know what that. So because over here, I told you I missed this trade. It was at midnight or almost midnight, just about midnight when it started popping. Well, we finally had this breakdown I've been talking about. Okay, and I think I pointed out a possible wedge here. It went into a Wyckoff range. Oh, so mad. I was like, how did I not see this? Sure enough, it hit the spring at the same time again at midnight. So I don't know what's going on at that time at 3 a.m. Eastern. I don't know what's going on at 3 a.m. Eastern. But maybe overseas maybe they're Pepe fans overseas, but they're starting these like new waves. So this was a really nice range. I want you guys to see this. It came down into it, then it automatically retest. And see this orange right here? Okay, the orange line, it never really broke down that orange line. It wicked, and wicked, but it kept like coming back up above it. And then right here, it wicked and then it broke down, but it also was break down the range and then it popped back up. So look at that 1, 2, 3 real strong candles. When you see these 3 strong candles like that, the white soldier candles, that's like that's a reversal. Like that's telling us we're reversing. We didn't really have anything. It was very choppy for a long time. So we kind of did this V pattern into another this is probably a Wyckoff right here, honestly. I just don't want to do another range right because it's kind of too confusing. But this when it do a V pattern, and most likely if it's a V pattern reversal, it'll probably go into another range, and then there's that another last wick. and then it went off to the races. Okay, so it's important to find this because this was just so slow, like watching paint dry. But over a while, you're like, oh, this is actually forming a range. Well, sure enough, missed it again. Oh, but here's what I want to tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is probably an ending diagonal. I can actually see it now. This looks like it right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then A, B, C. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm probably gonna go long in this very soon. I might even do it on this while we're streaming here. We won't be able to see that unfortunately because it's on my my other laptop here. The bat phone laptop. But yeah, that's probably it right here because that's going back into 4. This is all this like 4 right here. Look at this cluster. It's just gonna come right back into that. And as you can see, there's 2 blue lines. There's the new pivot, which is 15-minute, and then right below that is the 1-hour pivot or the hourly pivot. So some good strength here. Okay. But I will do this. What gotta always pull fibs just in case. Okay. So this is why it's important to pull fibs. Okay. Because here I am talking about hitting here, but here's a problem. Where's it at? 382. It's not the 5. The 5 is a little bit lower. So that means we need to range here a little bit and then drop into it, maybe. So we got the ABC, probably A. I don't know. We're gonna see. Yeah, if it comes down to this 5, it really needs to wick back up quick. Technically, you know what? I will say this. Technically, it can come down to the S1 on the 15-minute. I do not want it to do that though. I need it to find support right here. Okay, because I want to, first I want to go long because this is the 1-2 of a bigger count. So this was that bottom I was talking about. So here's the 1, 2, and then the pivots, and then pop and ready to go. So look how she's want to break down. Yeah, it wants to break down, but is it going to break through? Oh boy. If it breaks through and bounces around here, then it's probably go time. So if you ever see it, like, just going to throw this out here. I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but if it breaks down, hits the 5, and then breaks back through the pivots, you could actually wait because what it will do is it'll go to the pivots and come back through like a V. It'll probably retest the pivot one more time and then before it goes. So that would be like a good long opportunity. But look at this. This cluster is telling us that there's a lot of just support right here. And when it broke down, see how this broke down right here, and it's exactly what I actually just want to think about this. It's exactly what I'm talking about. So if it breaks down like this, it'll come back up, and hold on, wait a minute. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is actually quite a big pullback here. I didn't notice this. And this is coming right to the top of here. Yeah, I think I'm going to be going long here really soon. Really soon. I almost want to keep watching that. I don't want to do that on live stream to drive you guys nuts. Oh, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Look, I don't know when you guys are going to watch this video, but first of all, I'm long here. I posted about it TWC, so everyone that's probably watching this is from TWC. But if you're not, I would recommend joining. It's a great place, great community. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I told you 1 up, and then I had this like, down almost to the 5. So I went long on the pullback here on this double candle. See how you get this like candle right next to each other, where it's like down and then immediately back up, strong double candles. That was my long opportunity because I thought this was a 1-2, but what it looks like now is it was ranging in a Wyckoff reaccumulation. We need to see what's going to happen right here. This is important. So if it comes up here, it goes into this Wyckoff. Now it's wicking. See how? So look at volume. See how like volume took off. Now it's like dying off. and the water is nice and just glassy, right? There's no movement. Well, all of a sudden it starts to dive down, and all of a sudden we're getting some spike action, and then we get this like really good out of the range and back up. So see how it's coming back into it again? This is pretty important right now because if this is Wyckoff, we should see this want to bounce here really soon. Okay. I don't want to sit here and wait for it because I'd hate to do that for 15 minutes, but it might want to do it now. Then we got this pivot here too. Now, if I'm wrong, it's going to break down, but if I'm right, it's going to want to bounce, and that's going to be a great spot. Okay. Um, there was another thought where this was just A and B, and then we're still working on the C because it didn't hit the 0.5, and it really didn't go into wave 4, but that doesn't matter to me because if it's bullish, it doesn't need to if it's really strong, when it comes back down, it doesn't have to go deep into the wave 4. It can just kind of tap it and go. See how we're starting? Okay, see how we're starting to see it kind of hold up here, right here. I'm already long on this, but see if I'm seeing this, I'm longing this, and then just putting my stop loss right below pivot. This is a really good. This would be a good smart area. If it breaks down, it's like it would be such a small loss. It would be because it really actually, if you wanted to, technically, you could put your stop loss here on this wick too. Here, I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna try something here real quick before. I don't know if this is gonna break down before I even do this. I don't know if this is gonna break down. I really don't. I wanted to see it technically bounce where it's at because I think this is Wyckoff. I want to just check something real quick. Okay, I'm already in this trade, but I would do this too. So I would want to see what it does with this wick, right? So it started right here, and I would look for this EQ. But see, since we've already been down this way in the range, I don't want if it's a like a spring and a retest, we've kind of already had the spring kind of happen. So if it happens again, it better be like really good, right? So if she comes down and comes into this range, this teal range or this blue and pops, that's go time. Okay, that should be go time. Okay, no guarantees, of course, but it should be go time. All right. So we're seeing what's going to happen here, but it does need to start doing some good movement to the upside for me to have more confidence. Now, technically, it can come all the way down here if it needs to, as long as it doesn't pass down this. This is where my stop loss is at. I'm just barely below that. It's pretty low down there. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it down that low. So I had to kind of recalculate how much money I put into this because I kind of missed the run up. So I missed this. This would have been the perfect buy to get in right here, but it was just I don't remember where I was at. It was just too early in the morning for me. But as it started moving up here, that would have been if you were up and looking at XRP, you saw this, that would have been a good spot because you can count 5 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's really clear, and then the ABC is really clear. And then we had this really good movement, and that started wave 3. Okay, so we're starting to break down here. So this really price needs to show up here pretty soon, or this is still corrective and it still can come down because this only was like shot down. Like it looks like an A, honestly, the more I look at it. By the way, that channel was good, but it really wasn't because it's not holding any support. We're breaking through it. So the channel, remember how I had that big channel there? It's really just kind of a guide at this point. It doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Okay. So I'm not measuring the channel like I would have been before. So I'm just going to do my count. When I mean measuring, I mean doing a target off the channel. So if you have a good, strong channel, you can measure the channel and use that as your target as a breakpoint. But you don't want it to be like going in and out of the channel. The channel means nothing. So it's really just a guide. So see how price is not showing any volumes not showing up here. This tells me that this is starting to look like it wants to keep going, but we still got some time. So I don't like watching the 15-minute too much because it'll drive me nuts. Because watching candlesticks will drive you nuts because it'll make you think about way too many things. So I'm going to move on from here and come back to it. All right, I want to talk about Bonk. Okay, look at this channel that Bonk has. Now this is a good channel. I like this. Got 1, 2, 3, and now the EQ is good, right? Remember I talked about, look at the EQ. The EQ is almost as important as anything else. Is there a good reaction to the EQ? Absolutely. It absolutely is, and it's okay to kind of bounce around it. You want price to, price to bounce around the EQ is fine. You just want it to have reaction to the EQ, meaning that it's holding up support, it broke down, it's holding up as resistant, broke back up. You know what I mean? Then it broke back down. Now it's kind of like trying to hold support again. Bonk's looking pretty good, and what it did here, I noticed. So this is this real big correction here. It actually did the low here. So all the times you're seeing like this 1, 2 here, but it actually made a lower low here on Binance. So I don't know if this is different on other exchanges. That very well could be, but I'm counting this as my 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 should have a nice little run to probably this pivot. But what I'm hoping is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the top of the channel. That would be solid. Because what I want is I want wave 1 to be inside the channel, then wave 2 be inside the channel, then wave 3 to burst out of the channel, and then we forget, and then the channel's like in the way behind it, right? So I like this. This was kind of a weird spike here because there's obviously, oh look, there's there's total resistance support here, very clear. That's also good too. That's because look, we get above this. I'm gonna tell you why this is important. This is clearly showing some resistance, but it was support before. So if we break out of it, our 2 will probably come into it again. So that will also be a good guide for us to know, like, okay, we're getting ready to possibly do a long. Okay, but it needs to get up. And if it starts breaking down, then I definitely don't like this. There's something else going on, because this is, to me, this is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's a 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is just 3 and 4 to me. That's just a 3 and 4. That's definitely, and this is A, B, C. Maybe that's a B. Maybe it has a little bit more down. Maybe. I guess that's a possibility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B. 1, 2, 3 to finish off. So maybe I'll go down a little bit below this, and then it'll pop for. So maybe 4 is still happening. Doesn't matter to me though. What I'm looking for is the break of the green. That's it. I'm not trying to count all this right now. I'm not even trying to enter this until up here, which is strange, right? This is, charting is a lot about, where to enter, but don't always look at price. Look at about where to enter. Okay. You're like, well, what about here? I want to get this. Because I want all these gains. Well, but how do we know it's going to do that? Like, what if you're wrong? But if it goes back here, it passes a strong support resistance line. So now we know there's something going on here that helps me build confidence. Yeah, could I be wrong? Of course I could be. Could it break down? Of course it could. But it's clearly showing that that is something. So it should not be ignored. So we'll see it go past it. We'll see when it hit the top of the channel. That should be wave 5, I'm hoping. Or if it's not, maybe if it goes here, and that's a 1, 2, then a 3. That's a possibility too, but we won't know until that happens. All right, last is Avalanche. This green here, this is what I want to show you guys here. So the green is super strong resistance right now, like very strong. A lot of wicks. It breaks down and it shoots it right down. A big wick here, and then it's trying again. Okay, it's trying again, but I'm thinking that this is just an A, B, and we still got a C, because I actually can count this as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So I think 5 is actually done on AVAX. Now, I could be wrong there. I will be honest. I could be wrong, and it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it hits 5 here to maybe R1 and it comes back. So I'm just going to be patient, but this green is going to really give me some idea, because right now it didn't pull back much at all. So right now it could be a 4. Okay, it could be a 4, but it doesn't. It just looks like an AB to me right now. Okay, it does like an AB. See how there's no volume wanting to kick us through here. We want to see how volume showed up here, but then it got knocked down. But we want to see some strong volume through these resistance support areas. That's important. Because price needs the volume to get through this area. Okay. All right. those are the ones I got. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that made a lot of sense to you. It was 45 minutes. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Try to, stay away from the charts. It's even hard for me, trust me, because especially when you know things are coming up soon, that's even worse. Oh my gosh, it's even worse. But anyway, take care, everybody. We'll see you in TWC.